character.
I had to warn you about there's Sully on here and Piper, and they're really, really smart. Are you sure you want to come on here? It's just like, dude, relax. The heck?
Yeah.
He gave me like the Michael Bay trailer for Sully and Piper.
Wow, that's really cool.
You need to talk to more people if you think those are the only two smart people on this in this.
Yeah, that's true. Also, didn't Andrew come from Jack's community? So by extension, all of us are from Jack's community, but then Andrew split from Jack because of like the accusations and stuff. I remember Sully too used to run around with Joy Wolf. They were both like really smart.
Mm.
I think I gave him none as the
Look at
smartest person.
style. How you move.
Very honest, he defeated everyone on the app.
Yes.
Yeah, and he recorded it. It's on his YouTube channel. He defeated Sully multiple times. I think he debated you too, MJ, right?
What's Ariana's
You
YouTube
scored me.
called?
Sorry?
What's Ariana's YouTube called?
I think it's just Darth Arianis.
Well, I subscribed to his channel, so I saw his posts, and he's just like these like paragraph-long screeds against Sully's intellect. I'm like, wow, this is like passionate.
Bobby, do you agree with me that God is comprised of non-mere electrical parts?
Yeah.
What is a non-mirrored logical part?
That's
Like
the
the proper part?
Okay.
Do you think proper parts are mirror law?
Not all parts were. I'm rusty though.
No, slow boy. Do you think proper parts are symmetric or no?
Symmetric? No. Not necessarily.
Then what's the distinction between proper and improper part of the relation slope?
I'm trying to remember. Let me ask ChatGPT real quick. Hold on.
Is he calling you slow boy because you're Eastern Orthodox? Slow.
I don't see Darth Arianis' YouTube channels. Did he destroy his own channel?
I haven't seen any updates in a while.
Oh yeah, and have you met Apollo, Sam?
I think so.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get him on here. Yeah, he's like the king of debating.
Is he a Muslim guy?
Oh my god. No.
Yeah, he was like an anime debater, but he like destroys everyone. In the philosophy community on TikTok and Discord, he's sort of like the king right now.
Yeah, that's because I got off of Discord.
Oh, and proper parts and technical.
Yeah, tell him to come here. Tell him to come here and debate me on the Sudan.
No, I was just trolling. Proper parts are numerically identical to the object or whatever.
It's like, oh,
But yeah, improper parts are numerically
Excuse me,
identical.
you blocked my path. I'm sorry.
Or sorry, it's the other way around. Improper parts
I
are
apologize. Is there a problem here, gentlemen?
How dare you! I am Rondon, you despicable melanoid slime one! Liar!
Who do you think you're
Yeah,
bullying? You bumped into me. It was your mistake. You were at fault. You want this to become violent.
Like you.
A very strange reaction. Not really. When he raised his hand, I saw that it was webbed, a sign of Zaldin. But you became hostile. Zaldins are infuriated by courtesy. They view it as a form of totally social behavior designed to cover true feelings. Congratulations, Mr. Crusher. You handled that particular incident very well. But this incident delivered. It's important to know how you candidates deal with other cultures, other species, and it was a test. Yes, not all tests are an store, but they appear to be.
Doesn't matter, he's 5'2".
Bobby is too intelligent for me. I can't handle him.
Yeah, Chinadu's low IQ, but I'll dopamine.
Yeah, exactly.
Dopamine farm.
MJ, let's get a 2v2 setup. You and Sully versus me and Agda.
Megatron, me and you were intellectual peers. We should like.
Yeah, I want to be my debate partner. In the middle of the cross-examination, I'll be like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're too good.
I'd be the worst debater ever.
You're a good guy.
Oh my god.
Too down.
a lot of fucking raccoons.
Oh, you saw the video, yeah.
That's goals right there.
They're so adorable, the little raccoons. They're like,
So chubby.
yeah.
Consent or not.
Huh?
Do you
And that
recognize?
itself is offensive.
Do you
Is he
recognize
eating
that
hot
there's
dogs?
massive
Yeah, he's
differences
eating hot
between
dogs.
Islam and Christianity?
Yes, and God model. I call it out all the time.
And
Not
love
just the
it.
God
I love the hot
model,
dogs.
the more the ethics. Do you realize that?
Sounds like a fucking
Sure, and I'll call it, and I'll grant you that if there are massive differences, and when there are massive differences, I'll also lay it out so that
Well,
so
how
that
many
we can
has
just
that
honestly
he has?
on
Look,
both
I'm not against being
sides.
honest, and they're fine. That's fine, Nargis. That's fine with that.
It does have a big difference. Like the whole marriage, like one says to
I didn't get
marry
that
them
when
even
you
if there's no
It
consent.
reminds me of the,
I conceded that. The other
that's
doesn't
what
have
I feel
marriage, right? Like you don't have to marry them to sex slaves.
I
Like,
started
there's
watching
something
it,
you need.
it was
According to
fun.
tradition,
It's also marriage.
424, 20 for how many more
I-
times to repeat myself?
do you have to marry them, Marcus?
24, 33, I just looked it up. It's an easy look up.
Every episode.
You don't have to marry them.
Just go on Google and look it up.
Nargis, now, Nargis, let me ask you this. In Sunni classical traditional Islamic jurisprudence, do you have to marry the
If the jurisprudence doesn't go with their primary text, then obviously something was off.
The consensus is you don't have to
Let
marry
me say it like
them.
the
Then the consensus is
Wow.
But the second
You can't do that,
what
Nargis.
makes
they hold to something called a primary scripture. If they're not following it, perhaps we can question the consensus.
Who wants to make that tie, right? Look at how.
Yeah, this is what I
When
don't
arguing with a woman, what did you expect? They don't take accountability. Like,
I
like
don't think, okay, like, I don't think she's arguing because she's, like, personally connected. I think it's just that she's thinking from religion, through a scholarly perspective, not
Looking
necessarily.
on the
I
outside.
don't know about that.
Yeah, like, from an
I feel
outside
like-
perspective.
Because he's a heritage
Think she's
Horrible
thinking
things
that
that
You're almost based in
control over it.
If you take, like, religious courses through your university, they're gonna be, like, an artist. Like, I'm not gonna,
What does that mean? Okay.
like,
So you're almost in.
they're gonna think through a scholarly, secular lens.
Oh, I'm glad she's thinking through a scholarly, secular lens. Okay, but anyway,
looking at it,
she's not even a sex. She's not even
don't
sex.
be condescending, Andrew.
She's not even
I am
secular.
not biased like
She's not.
you.
She's not secular.
Because I have no right as a race,
She's
and I
not
have
secular.
no ownership of either
You
religion.
do, though, Nargis. You do. And look, it's not even no. It's look. First of all, she's not secular. Thank you, Therese. And secondly,
Andrew, do you
I'm very much secular. Who the hell are you to tell me what I am? Who the hell are you telling me what I am? In
We'll bring
fact,
you
I
up,
just want to point out the
Come on,
fact
do something.
just hold on. So to say
He wants to tell me what I am. He doesn't use the
these
Torah,
are,
he
to
doesn't
say that
say
these are, and you said I inherited a religion. It's okay. It's okay.
Yes, you did.
Okay,
I
you
have
inherited
consented.
things too. It's okay. We can both call them out. It's okay. So here's the point. That's almost like you're engaged in a genetic fallacy there, by the way. It's kind of weird. But I'll just say this. It doesn't really matter. You can look at these.
For the lifestyle that Americans take.
What you don't want to be doing is saying somehow what the overwhelming swath of a
That's all.
particular religion has been affirming, somehow that's not what they believe.
That's all.
Or what they've historically believed. If they historically believed that Muhammad, betrothed a 6-year-old and consummated at 9, you probably should say that's what Islam is held to. You don't want to do this thing where you try to modernize it and go, well, last however long recently, people have come up with different explanations. No, let's not do that. Let's just stick with what
People
historical
come up with
Christians.
different explanations are secular atheist academics in the field of historical critical method, right?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter
No,
actually.
it doesn't.
Unless you're telling me that academia doesn't hold any
No,
weight.
that's not what I'm saying.
And
I'm saying
if that has been the historical
It's not what I'm saying.
view for the longest time, then that is the historical view.
It
I'm
matters
glad
about
to
the
give that.
historical view. And the reason the historical view matters, the big reason that matters, is because on the hypothesis that Islam is true, God would preserve his message, and the people that follow it would believe the message that he wants them to believe.
Exactly.
Well, it's a very stupid thing to say that, today we just figured out that she was 19. Give me a freaking break.
It's not the Quran. The Quran is their primary scripture.
And Nargis,
You're saying something in the hadith that
in the hadith
that holds no infallibility, right? You're saying that is infallible.
I'm sorry.
Because you haven't studied into the
There's
freaking.
plenty of Muslims who say that you must have the hadith to understand the Quran, and
That's why we preface traditional Islam. Yeah, traditional Islam teaches that, right? Nargis teaches
Right. I agree with you on that.
Okay, and so
I agree with
God,
that.
if Islam is true, Nargis, it makes sense that God would preserve the message that people understand it. It's pretty stupid to do this modern thing with like
The modern thing is how they manipulate it, and how they put it on.
Governor Priscilla, you've had enough. You work with us, guys, these slippers.
Half your stories in all three scriptures have mythological origins.
I don't care about which
All
one
of
you're
these
trying.
have
Now you're trying to make some other point where you're trying to bring all three together. I don't care.
They're all borrowed stories
Nargis, that's what your claim is, and we can examine your claim, and it's false. That's not what I'm even
My
getting
claim
into
is
right now.
false.
Yeah, all three of them are borrowed from other stories. What are you talking
They're
about?
all refurbished and repurposed. Even the story of hiding the
Is that what
sea.
you're going to provide? The epic of Gilgamesh?
Yes,
or
I'm going to
Gilgamesh?
provide the evidence for you. There's a
What are you
lot of
gonna show?
academic work
Nargis,
on
I
it.
know what the parallelism for
Not
stupid.
your scripture is
The
not exclusive on
parallelism
you.
is stupid.
You did
The
not invent
parallelism
the
is
wheel,
stupid.
bro. These
Okay.
stories kept
Yeah,
repeating
what's the
themselves in
evidence
the
for it? What's the evidence
Mesopotamian.
for it? What's the
In
evidence
the
for it?
Mesopotamian.
Give me the evidence. What's the evidence?
Poseidon and
Oh, Poseidon. That's where
Right.
all three stories come from, right?
You know what? Because you don't read, I don't think you
No,
know.
Nargis, don't tell
I'll
me.
give you the name of
Nargis,
of
Nargis. You're trying to do. You're trying to. All you're doing is trying
actually
to.
done studies on myth
Yeah, I
and
got
legends,
you. I
right?
got you. I got you. What you're
And
trying
these
to
myths
do.
and legends keep getting
What you're trying
refurbished
to do
over
is
time.
you're always trying to take
Over
this.
time in the history of mankind, where
Nargis.
they have
Where's
they've been
Poseidon
told-
at? Where's
they've been
Christianity take from
told over
Poseidon?
and
Go
over
ahead and show it.
again,
You're just talking. You're just
right?
talking.
No, I'm not talking. I'm just
Okay,
speaking
show
down
where
to
Poseidon.
academics a
Show
little
where
bit.
Christianity takes from Poseidon. Please show me that. Go ahead.
Poseidon is the lord of the sea.
Oh, the
He
law of
he
the
allows
sea.
for
Christianity
Orion to
takes from
part
the
the
law of
sea
the
and
sea.
walk on it.
Oh, yeah, and walk on the law of the sea.
Right?
Yeah.
So these stories existed.
Yeah, that's retarded.
A little refurbished.
Yeah.
And you have Moses in it.
Embodied down
Right
syndrome right there. Yeah, the law of the sea.
Oh my god. He's the god of the sea, bro.
Jesus walked on water, and the water is like the law, and the sea from Poseidon.
Poseidon is the god.
Yeah, the
He's
god
lord
of
of
the
the sea.
water of the sea.
He grants his son Orion to walk on water.
Yeah.
You have myths like Mahabharata.
Let me
Ramayana.
throw up real quick. I'll be right back.
A lot of them, the god blow through the sea parts, and then the archetype moves through it.
Nargis is onto something here.
Yeah, I'm gonna move you down.
It's not what I'm saying, bro. It's what academia is saying.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
making it
I don't
up.
care. Look. Yeah, and academia says all kinds of things like God doesn't exist, and blah 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 blah. So you can go ahead and appeal to academia. I want to hear the reasons. You tried to do this pot shot and say, oh, you don't read because I've been
Myths and legends have existed
because
from
I
time
did it too,
immemorial in the
because
history of
Which
mankind.
scholars are you citing for this then? Because I have not heard
Little,
seriously by citing.
Nikolai Sinai.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And are they-
There's a huge list of mythicists, actually.
Yeah, mythicists.
Are they classical historians? Are they like New Testament scholars? Like, what's their specialization?
They are historians.
Here we go.
They are academic historians
Okay.
who work with historical critical
Side.
That's fine. I'm not disputing that there are people
in your
who.
back channel if you want to look through it.
I'm not disputing there are credible people who say that. I just don't think this is not like this is a consensus position. It may be something that some like Dennis McDonald has. I think some views of that.
Of course, Dennis
It's going to be a sort of considered a fringe position.
They're using a very strong critical method to analyze
I have is you're not saying that.
Yeah, but hold on, Andrew. Hold on. A lot of acknowledges too is that there's not really a causal connection because like first century Judaism was very much averse to a lot of sort of the pagan tropes, so they would not have like taken that very well. I'm not saying that there's not any
What
bleed
you're
over it.
saying, these stories were always running through like the human psyche, right? From the Mesopotamian, Egyptian,
psyche.
Hindu, Vedic, like these have been great stories teaching us, giving us morals and stuff like that. So it would only be natural that since trade existed, people traveled, these stories, like through some kind of Chinese whispers, travel from generation to generation, geography to geography. These would just be refurbished, repurposed by the archetype, such that it would hold some moral value for the people of the time, right?
Yeah,
And when they were told, it actually benefited and created a sense of well-being for the collective, right? Because that is exactly what the archetype always intended for his people, to create a society in which there was peace, productivity, and some moral value. That's how the academics see it.
I'm not denying that there was certainly like interconnection between religions and trade, but I don't think that the causal relationship between like first century Christianity and paganism is that strong. I mean, if anything, I think most scholars now would hold to it being more embellished by Judaism, right? Like Jesus does lots of miracles that are reminiscent of what like Elijah and Elisha and Moses do in the Old Testament. I think that connection is there. I don't really think the gospel authors had in mind Jesus replicating like Dionysus or inside.
Much of monotheism is built on pagan principles.
Yeah, notice.
You're probably getting like 5 things removed now. You're saying,
Can I contribute?
based on Zoroastrianism, based on theism, like it's like you have to make. It's like, okay, if you're gonna say, well, from Judaism, and Judaism is from Zoroastrianism, and Zoroastrianism is based off of like
from ancient Egyptian myth.
Yeah, but that's fine, but that still doesn't mean that they have like that in mind. Like, I don't know if most Jews had. I don't know if most Jews would be able to believe that.
It's like finding the stories interesting, so as to
not saying that the subset of scholars.
And then repurposed and repurposed.
I'm just saying, I don't know if you're gonna find like I seriously doubt that the gospel like Matthew.
She's not saying there's a subset of scholars that believe this. She's saying it is the case. She said that these three things.
I'm not saying it is the case. They gave it
No. We're gonna repeat what you
said.
Historian. You said that these three traditions are drawing off previous traditions that New Testament clearly draws off Poseidon. Let me read to you the Poseidon parallel. Let me get ready. You can get a puke bucket. So you can just listen.
It's just what I remember.
No.
I don't know if that.
The most prominent parallel. This is Poseidon. Just listen to this. Get a throw up bucket.
Also, why is Poseidon? Wouldn't it be Roman versions? Wouldn't it be Neptune?
Yeah,
So
the most prominent parallel. The most prominent parallel is the demonstration of power over the chaotic sea, which was Poseidon's primary domain. Poseidon. In the Odyssey, Poseidon stirs up massive storms with his trident to impede I didn't know how to pronounce Odysseus. I can never pronounce that word. Conversely, he has the power to instantly calm the waters to protect his favored travelers.
Got it.
Hold on. Jesus, in the calming of the storm, Jesus rebukes the wind and the sea, and there was a great calm. To the first century audience, familiar with Hellenistic culture, this act signaled a level of authority previously reserved for deities like Poseidon.
It's funny too, because I don't actually think, I think a better parallel is Honi the circle drawer, who's in Josephus. He's like a first century rabbi, and he, what was that?
Oh, I'm just throwing up.
Honi the circle drawer. What a circle drawer. I'm just saying that the better.
Why is Andrews on Schrenger?
No, I'm not even arguing that this is like a made up story. I'm just saying like there was a Jewish tradition of the rabbi who like prayed for rain and it happened like instantly or something like that. Like I'm just saying if you're gonna do a parallel, I think that's a more reasonable one.
How about that God is the father of the weather in the weather?
Yeah, that's fine. No, I'm not disputing that though. I'm not denying that happened. I'm just saying that
stupid to say that this is a response or some kind of polemic or whatever.
No, I don't think it's Look, you can even find parallels, Andrew, with like Fatima, like the girl, the spring top and stuff like that.
No.
Point, that's how that story got developed in response to an earlier one, right? So you're both kind of right. can we just stop being so stupid about
Thank you.
can we just be anthropologists for a second and actually do this correctly?
Thank you for that.
All I'm saying is Andrew does not say anything about the history of the case either. It can be the case that there can be parallels and also that it really happened.
Yes, what's up?
They're not mutually exclusive.
What's up?
Who took the jam out of your tongue?
Yeah, I'm sorry. This stuff.
No, I'm saying, why are you so?
Are you not listening?
What are people saying? No, I just put my headphones back on.
Okay, yeah, because Nargis is up here doing her nonsense. She's trying to say here she's cucking for Islam while saying she's not. Then she's trying to say the three traditions all draw off some narrative that are clearly mythological and they're just blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, well give me an example. Check the New Testament with Poseidon. And then I read what is being said between Poseidon, although for some reason Frenchie thinks it's reasonable. And then my mind is blown. Walking on water. The ability to traverse the surface of the ocean is a specific attribute shared between the true. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Think about it. I mean, you're gonna say that it might be off
No, how
It's more similar to parting the Red Sea than it is to Poseidon, if anything.
People eat food and have people follow them. The fact that people follow them and they have disciples and eat food.
I ask you to take down the excitement level.
Andrew, calm down, my God.
I'm still not following. Is it all it's
I'm
saying?
absolutely disgusted by the parallel mania garbage. It's like,
Andrew.
it's like XI or IX or whatever that bullfish guy's name on Discord. He provides a thing where, Jesus ate in the upper room with his 12 followers and there's candlelight. Oh, there was upper room and these people were eating and there's people who were following him. Oh yeah! Oh, that's a brilliant rip-off of that.
Andrew, it's not mutually exclusive. You can have both.
Unbelievably retarded.
It doesn't mean that they're mutually exclusive. You can have it actually happen historically.
Hey, look, if I say that 4 people walked with me and I went and there was a jousting sword fight. Okay,
yeah.
4 people followed him and these 2 people were on horses and
Right.
killed each other. Oh, look at the aura! Oh, blah, blah.
Sure, I'm saying, but hold on, Andrew, hold on, let me just.
I will agree that the Poseidon Jesus comparison is a good try.
The idea is that's what gods do. Gods control water. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a crazy thing to.
Yeah, but
gods do everything and gods do create stuff out of nothing and gods do what?
Andrew.
What?
Can I just
Literally, this is what it says. The ability to traverse the surface of the ocean is a specific attribute shared between the two.
Moses is a better analogy. Matthew has Jesus begin to Moses all throughout his gospel, right? I don't think that's like negative. I think Jesus really thought himself as a Moses. He went out of his way to do the same miracles that Moses did to a bigger scale. Give other examples of this in history, right? Josephus even tells us that there was a. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying Jesus goes out of his way to intentionally do the same things that some of the prophets do, just like John the Baptist tries to emulate Elisha, right? By putting on the hair and doing some of the same things and saying some of the same things. There's nothing wrong with that. I think Jesus went out of his way to do all of the same miracles.
Wrong with that. The larger point that she's making, okay, which I'm not even saying that there's not some strands or strains or things that have happened historically that are copied or copied, all right, in certain aspects of different traditions in the Old Testament and New. I'm not saying that, okay? What I'm saying is she then concludes, these are just all mythological. They're just making this up and they're drawing off of these different traditions, which is what she was saying at the beginning. I find that to be really retarded. Besides
Narcus is all kinds of fucking nonsense.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Yeah, it's do better, Bob. Do better. Besides,
That's all kind of.
What is wrong with you?
And Iliad described
I like Narcus.
Listen to this. No,
I like Narcus.
Let's read this. Get ready. You're gonna need 2 people. Let me read this. Hold on, let me read this. Homer Kent. And the Iliad described Poseidon's chariot skimming across the waves with the sea monsters gamboling around him as the water remains dry beneath his path. The account of Jesus walking on the Sea of Galilee mirrors this divine stride, quote unquote, in the Greek mindset. The ability to treat the sea as solid ground was a definitive epiphany.
Give me a puke barrel.
God's, but let me throw up.
I need a 55-gallon drum.
That is absolutely vomitous math. That is disgusting. I'm sorry, that's disgusting.
I'm continuously surprised and likewise entertained at the kind of thing that triggers you.
I can understand why young Andrew would be triggered, because for years we're told that Christianity just stole these ideas from other places. And then you start going and reading them. I went through that myself in a time. And I was like, what the hell are these idiots talking about? They sound nothing alike. And so I can understand why a young Andrew might be wanting to puke because of it. There are some things.
Another god or demigod born of a virgin, though? Isn't that another myth?
Yes.
No.
No, actually not.
There were some traditions of Moses
No.
being one of the
Yeah,
virgins.
not right. That was even known to have been made up afterwards.
Really? Do you have some evidence of that? I just vaguely.
Yeah, a lot of
It doesn't Sarah's mother get supernaturally like pregnant by him? Same with like Abraham's wife. It's not a virgin birth because they weren't virgins, but they still supernaturally conceived.
Roman.
I know, but I'm saying I think the Jewish connection is better than the Greek connection, though. I don't think Matthew is ripping off the Jewish motifs. I'm sorry, pagan
It's
motifs.
not ripping off. These are just influential stories, and even the Muslims behave just like Andrew when I bring this up.
When they're writing in Greek,
It's just retarded,
Greeks
It's retarded.
could read it.
It's not. It's academia.
No, it's not academia
You know what? You want to hold
Yeah,
on
some
to
academia,
exclusivity. I'm telling you, it's not that
some
exclusive,
academia
bro.
is
You did not
retarded.
invent the wheel.
Some academia is retarded. Some academia is retarded.
Even the date of Jesus' birthday is just stolen from like Christmas, with Santa Claus and reindeer.
Thank you for that, Deepak. Thank you.
Now, there are some. Now, I will say that there are some things that I think you can point to that are like clear, like allusions to. I think the best thing you do is the Matthew birth narrative with Herod killing the babies. That's meant to be a good parallel to Moses with the Pharaoh killing the babies.
I don't mind it, but no. Caleb. That's not the problem, right? Because obviously, from traditional Christian view, the whole text is supernatural, and there's typology and prefiguring going on that God orchestrated from the history of the creation of everything, right? From the creation of the universe. He already orchestrated that. So that's not going to be an issue. But when you start doing this thing where you're like, well, look at these different parallels from all these different Osiris and he had 12 followers and he was born of a virgin, and you see it's like a rib was planted in somebody's forehead, and so this is absolutely garbage.
Also, Cyrus was literally, we have to do his mom having sex. Like, he was not born of a virgin.
She actually had sex with her husband's severed penis. It was
that just sounds good. That's just like Jesus. Hey, if you guys didn't name names, I would have thought that was the gospel. I would have.
Yeah, I don't see a difference.
Yeah,
it's actually quite a...
and have sex with
Give me and Andrew a few.
I would have
give us some more puke barrels. We feel
It's true, Andrew, because it's funny how unlike the pagan ones.
I don't even need to tell people the gospel. I can just tell them the story of Osiris, and that can get them born again because they're so common.
And Andrew, it's funny because in the Gospels, it's actually much more subtle, right? Like in these Greek myths, it's usually this really explicit, like overly sexualized thing with like them having sex with the gods, whereas in the Gospels, it's actually very just nuanced. It's just she gets pregnant. Like there's no like vulgar descriptions like you have in like
exactly.
or something. Yeah.
No, but then you read this thing. Hey, did you guys hear this? Oh, and he was baptized. I love how people that do the parallels. The way they are so vague, and the ones that are more honest, they have to zoom out super coarse grain to make it even somewhat comparable. But like if they get usually they'll get too specific, they just make it dishonest. They'll be like, well, he had 12 followers, and he was born of a virgin, and he had a resurrection, and he saved the world, or some stupid I'm sorry. You get together. When you put these things side by side and you just read the comparisons, it is the most retarded. The best they have is maybe Osiris. Maybe. It is absolutely retarded.
This is such a retarded argument that I developed what I call the Isaiah 53 words mean words problem for atheists. Because basically the approach they take to these basically the approach they take to these other myths, they should be willing to acknowledge that Jesus ripped off Isaiah 53, but they're not willing to say that. They're willing to say Isaiah 53 about the suffering servant, the nation of Israel, even though it's a dying and rising Savior and all this and that. So I point out to the low-hanging fruit atheists who will make these arguments about the myths and say, well, why don't you hold the same standard to Isaiah 53? And they'll be like, because it's clearly not about Jesus. And I was like, wait a second, it's a dying and rising Savior, it's suffering, all of this and that. Why isn't it? And the only reason why is they're inconsistent. But this argument that you're talking about, well, this argument that you're talking about, this argument that you're talking about here,
such a great foreshadowing.
It gave me the Isaiah 53 words mean words from, because they'll want to say this about these other myths, but they don't want to say it about Isaiah 53.
Matt, do you agree though that Isaiah 53 says, hold on, but Matt, does the figure in Isaiah 53 have children?
No.
Does it mention that he has offspring that will live on after him?
Yes.
Right. And you agree?
Which means it would have to be, and it says his death with a rich man in his death and stuff like this. So it would obviously, we can reasonably infer here, oh, here you have a dying and rising Savior. But they don't want to say this. And no, this is about
Axioms. Ancient axioms. Well, I don't disagree with Yoni. I think that men use conversation to peacock. I think it's really important.
Just
men.
I know. I've heard your theory. Women.
What's the theory? This is new. This is off the charts, my dude. What are you talking about? What's the theory?
Men use their vocal skills to select a mate, and that's all they're doing. They tell stories to select mates, right?
Peacocking, yeah. I think that men offer their intellectual wares, and women cruise by and decide whose brain is well attached and whose brain is sort of half disconnected and malformed. I don't think Yoni is on to something. Jesus, right?
Jesus.
I really get upset. No, absolutely. And the times I really get upset is when these people, they go on to say things like, the live action version of the Little Mermaid was
the once and famous Alistair Crowley.
Cartoon version, right? Because every pixel, the original one had pixels and it was animated and the new one, is not here.
Now you understand the stories in the Bible. It's such a great narrative foreshadowing. It's any fucking Christopher Nolan script has much better narrative, sophisticated foreshadowing than the fucking Bible.
Hey, there's some
Any of them. Back to the Future had better foreshadowing. Fucking Fight Club had better foreshadowing. Memento had better foreshadowing. All of these movies do it much better.
Clever foreshadowing. I agree on
The Sixth Sense.
I think Monica thinks that Republicans should win. And I think that the Democrats need to fix themselves so that the Republicans can lose.
Sorry, I was laughing.
There's a bit of overlap in that.
Here comes the once and famous Alistair Crowley. What's up, Alistair Crowley?
Good morning.
Well, it's been that long. Hasn't been that long.
What's the main thing here?
Well, Trump derangement syndrome is real, and it actually, if you like philosophy, those are the things you're concerned about, and so how do you apply the teachings of various philosophies to your Trump derangement syndrome? It makes you realize just how you're hyperpolarized and hyperpolitical. That's really all TDS is.
my Bluetooth was connected over. What did I miss, Alistair Crowley?
Benjamin is playing his acoustical guitar as I discuss philosophy and its application to the sufferers of Trump derangement syndrome. And, you know,
When I made the title, I half thought of you. I was like, I know for a fact John is going to come in.
For example, even the teachings of Jesus Christ, if you look at it through the lens of go within, it says that the secret source is within you, and so take it out to save yourself. And that type of philosophy is the same thing for Donald Trump. We all have a spark of divinity within us. And so people that live their lives hating Trump, in my opinion, they're mostly all atheists because they don't see the spark within themselves, and therefore they don't know that Donald Trump's got a spark. And so it's kind of pathetic in a way. At this age in your life, if you live with hate for the orange one, well, you just don't get this. You don't understand the game. It's a game, and your TDS.
Right, John?
I don't know if you would call it the art of selfishness. Maybe you could call it that.
I'm going with the book you're holding, and everybody's here on the Ayn Rand stuff. And Trump is the same thing. Like, it's good to be greedy, Gordon Gekko. You know he wants to be Gordon Gekko.
I know, but see, the book by Ayn Rand, The Art of Selfishness, is a clickbait title. That's the type of room title people put together. They say selfishness is a virtue, but the whole book deals with the complication of ethics and how vast it is and how complicated it gets. So it's a good book. I'm trying to read it today. I want to try to read the whole thing within a week or two. You know, you have terrible TDS, and your rooms are TDS incubators. If you were a venture capitalist, you'd be a TDS millionaire at this point.
Well, that's not entirely fair.
Well, I probably wouldn't be a TDS millionaire. But if I were a venture capitalist, I probably already would be. So there's that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, don't quit you.
I'm not insane, Monica. Monica's claiming she's not insane. Why is she having to do that?
Benjamin, I have a question for you. Do you know what the Constitution of Muhammad is?
It's called a required reading for Benjamin.
It's also known as the Charter of Medina.
That's the required reading.
Written in 622.
Required reading for all K through 2.
I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you read the Charter of Medina, you will realize that Muhammad is a fraud and that his entire religion is a scam. And the Charter of Medina, or the Constitution of Muhammad...
You know, she has been coming in and...
You know what else is a scam? Your political campaign. That's what else is a scam.
That's good, Kevin. That was well
Thank
timed.
you.
Well
We
played.
should invite T up. We haven't recommended for
TDS, you know what the real problem is? It's TDDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Anytime someone criticizes Trump, they call it Trump derangement syndrome. That's the real problem.
Kevin...
I think all of us, myself included, deserve a big old apology for the allegedly hysterical liberals in 2016 because they write about fucking everything.
Well, Kevin, what about T-triple-DS? I mean, I just reframed your frame and we added a D.
Fred's PTR. F equals M. EV over DT. Oh, made that. Oh, I
Oh, sir, you have 37 cell phones that are running a failing political career.
Multiplied by...
How is it a failing political career?
F, funny little arrow.
See, some of us have goals and objectives, and we actually help the politicians we like.
Funny little B arrow, bar, line thing with a lowercase d, T thing.
Does the arrow indicate that the V and the F are vectored?
It does not. It's a one-way street. It's just a one-way street, Benjamin.
I think you're pulling you're jerking the chain.
No. The equal is actually showing you that it's a parallel line set up.
No, it looks like a runway, yeah.
The slopes won't intersect. So the F won't intersect with the V because they're parallel lines, and so their slopes are the same as what that's trying to show you. And the see, Fred told me I got 100. And the M is like it's like for the Milky Way. If you want to use it to
Brad, I just don't know what the arrows are doing in that thing. I think that means the vector.
I mean, this is a one-way street only. See, they're going in the same direction.
I told you. You didn't want to listen to it.
I get that they're going in the same direction. That just means that
It just means Fred
the
makes
force in a particular
Delirious.
direction is equal to the mass
volume.
multiplied by the change in velocity in that same
You
direction.
guys are so atheist. It's unbelievable. This is a hermetic formula here. This is mysticism. Force equals mysticism,
Oh,
and then you get above and below, below and above. Hello?
He is. This is an old form. This is just velocity. Is this change in velocity over time, right?
Velocity equals distance over time, but this is an alchemical equation for mysticism to give you the force and the power of God.
No, this is change in velocity over time, and
What is this? I'm a little lost about what this
it
is.
is Fred's PTR.
What does
I
it
mean,
mean?
it says may the force be with you, right? That's ultimately how it parses out. And instead of force, he's got the mathematical formula for force.
Oh, that's
So I think that's get some time to absorb it.
So the fact that Christianity had
Laura
all this
is here.
support
I haven't heard Laura's voice in a long time.
almost, the world religion,
Often voters one of the most easy listening voices
the fact that it is the same
on
kind of
Clubhouse. So you should do a head-to-head compared pros voice, Laura's voice, and have a vote. You should put the vote at the top of the room.
that we have seen across the world. And they are all
Meanwhile, myself and Alistair here can have the most unpleasant voice conversation.
Yeah, no, I think that's decided. That's decided already, yeah.
Look, I'm busy trying to look like I'm doing something here at my university. Don't blow my cover.
So, with regards to Trump derangement syndrome and the sufferers thereof who have lived every day of their life for multiple years thinking and talking about Donald Trump, when I think about all the Democrat, Marxist, liberal, atheist safe spaces here on this app and the countless millions of conversations that have happened regarding Donald Trump, all that wasted time and effort could have been spent reading a book and improving one's life. Instead, people projected, just like this equation for May Day, they force their own projection.
Alistair, and I think that you're a fine candidate for what is it again? He's running for Selectman, Councilor, Congress.
Oh yeah, there's that little thing called Congress.
It's unfathomable, Benjamin, how you don't know that equation. But I'm just gonna leave it there. But as much science stuff as you talk. But that being said, what's up, T? What's up, Hero? What's up, Aisha? I do love when John's in the room. I think it would be great to have a little soliloquy from him because he was just feeling the need to talk over here and he wasn't getting his attention.
Somebody was talking.
No, I had the meaning right. I just was trying to work out like how did the D's get in there? It's all about the D. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not sure what the D's.
That's what she said.
D's are doing.
That's what she said, Benjamin. You've never seen the equation that said like D over DT like that?
Oh man, the dV over dt is
But the
so
I
common.
rather
It goes back
or
forever.
be died by natural.
Just
Even if it's
doing a little
drugs,
bit
that's
of
fine.
here.
That's cool.
That's fine. I'd rather have that
Where did the D come in?
chemicals.
That you don't know? You're not telling me you're old enough.
The bug red dye is like not a concern to me.
What about the pure but vanilla?
Well, they stopped doing that a long time ago. Yeah. They got rid of that a long time.
Real vanilla is very expensive, but it's so good.
I would eat
It's the best.
vanilla though.
Yeah, I think the red dye they get, like, when they grind what would be, like, the equivalent of the bug's anal gland, it, like, releases this red sort of, it's not blood, but it's like another, like bile, and that's what the red.
I don't think it's the anal gland, it's just the whole bug.
Yeah, I think they dry it out.
Just kidding.
The justification 75 plus years ago in order, like, you don't have to think anything about how Jews deserve to live there in the Yishuv or in 1948 or whatever in order to think that, the status quo is okay as is in a certain sense. Like, maybe historically the Europeans had no right to the Americas and the Native Americans should have had everything, but enough time has passed that I think that right has essentially been voided.
You call it my white boy here, Benjamin. Derivative? Did you say the word derivative at some point? Or no? I don't think I did. I never got there. I did hear Delta, so we can let Delta qualify. In a way around the bar.
I would
have accepted Delta. Like, I would have taken that. I'm like, yeah, no, Delta. Yeah, no.
I have Trump on the phone. He wants to mock you all.
Oh, can I just ask you a question here that may result in another philosophy, Marcus Aurelius? What is the difference between irredentism and redentism?
Good question. I mean, I associate revanchism as like avenging a loss or something, whereas irredentism is just like this particular territory is ours. But that may just mean I don't know if I read the actual dictionary definition. This is just like the general connotations I've absorbed culturally through as much.
Because it seems like the only way. Yeah, I mean, they could be like subtle distinctions or like just like different tones or something, inflections, conversational inflections or something, where it's like the best place to use them. But like, technically, you'd have to have like lost the land for you. You don't need to want to claim it back in both scenarios. What way would it?
You want me to the Google definition of the two, or okay? Irredentism claims land based on shared ethnicity or motherland ties, whereas revanchism focuses on taking back lost territory as revenge for military defeat, regardless of ethnic composition.
Okay, so there's like some overlap, but then there's like some clear distinct cases.
So irredentism is like when Russia tries to take Ukraine because of the idea that it's their ethnic land, whereas I guess Israel taking like Sinai would be like revanchism because it's like during a war. Hold on.
No.
Taking back lost territory militarily conquered for defeats.
Yeah.
Taking back lost territory as revenge for military defeat.
It'd be like Alsace-Lorraine.
The paradigm case is Hitler. Post-Treaty of Versailles, the land that was taken back. The land that was taken from Germany, they reconquered. And that was seen as like this relentless, pursuit. Alright, you live to fight another day, Mark.
But he still never is going to look down the Gabriel versus Cayman blunder, the famous blunder.
I mean, your claim about which one is the Gabriel, like that was yet to be confirmed. It's called, right?
How about Mark not knowing that there were salt dorners?
And you mixed up the House Blackwood and House Bracken.
Yeah, that never happened.
And you claimed that they had house words.
That never happened. Like people don't make mistakes.
I think it's worth a few minutes because that is your thing. Like Mark is proven to be a jack of all trades, so we can kind of forgive him like one or two missteps. But like that's you're the guy. Like.
Somebody move Timothy down, please.
So what conclusion did you reach with Mark there?
Oh no, to be honest, I want because I felt like at some point I like Sam had like read the Google definitions and then I wasn't wasn't clear to me, sorry, what the distinction was, so I just thought about people in some ethnicity. Ask someone rather than Google it.
Beef, what's the title about? Man or bear?
Alright, so like, if you were a woman and you were going to be teleported to the woods, and it's either a man on the other side or a bear, which do you choose?
What woman on stage are you asking?
How many women have chosen a bear?
There's a fair number of women choose bear.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would, man, I think it's pretty, but I think there's a trick there or something, right?
There's not really a trick. The only trick that I would say is that if the bear was a panda bear, you probably should choose panda. But, like, I think you should in general. If you don't know what kind of bear, you should go with man.
I thought everyone would have chosen that.
Well, I think a lot of feminist women want to signal so strongly that they hate men and think that they're vile, that they will say stupid stuff like bears are safer than men. You know, even though like very clearly it's very dangerous. A bear is a very dangerous animal. It's like literally a predator, will literally eat you.
This is why I was a little bit hesitant, because I thought, there might be some trick there not getting right. Because, I mean, it just feels obvious in a way. Like, can it be argued that for a bear? Can someone make that argument?
I mean,
maybe you can say like the bear isn't like a moral agent, whereas a man is, and so like. Even if a bear attacks me, he's not immoral, but if a man does, it is, right? And so, like...
You're worried about dooming the soul of the man that attacks you?
I don't mind being killed, but I want to be killed not by like a moral agent, but like... I don't know.
Is that true? Would you rather be killed by a neutral force than a moral agent?
I don't think, thinking about it right now, yeah, why would I care whether if it's a neutral force or not? I just care about my life in a way, right?
Yeah.
I think the level of pain involved, you might care about that.
Yeah. Bears will just start eating you while you're alive. They're not like, certain animals will just bite your neck. Bears are not like that. Now, Severin, it says in the Bible that it's a great sin to have sex with a man, but it never says it's a great sin to have sex with a bear. So, if you're being on the safe side, it's like you should have sex with the bear rather than have sex with the man. If you're a man.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, that's you can make a point there, right? Maybe.
Like, I feel like I'm right that the Bible never explicitly says no bestiality. I think it just assumes that no one would want to do that. But maybe I'm wrong about that.
I think I'm not sure if there isn't like in the Old Testament some law that talks about bestiality, or in the New Testament mentions that. I think that there are like church fathers who did mention, I think, this bestiality, whether it's a sin or not. I think they did consider it as sin. But I don't know if it's explicit in the texts of the Bible, though. Not sure.
They might have grouped it under like a general sort of sodomy is wrong notion, which.
I mean, there is like in Leviticus 19, when God talks about all the evils that the Canaanites committed, including like having sex with donkeys.
right? And actually, that's one of the reasons why God commanded to also kill the livestock alongside, the other people, the civilians. When He commanded to kill the Canaanites, remember that there is mention also of the livestock, and it's implied that the reason is because they had sex with those livestock. Like some people had sex with them, and so some people. So I think there might be like an implication there of bestiality being like a sin or something, or an evil in the eyes of God.
Exodus 22:19 says, "Whoever lies with an animal shall be put to death."
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
Are you like more of an ass guy or like a titty guy? I think that whereas breasts nourish life, and they're like fundamentally symbolizing bringing life anew to the young, asses represent shit and filth and waste. So because of my fundamentally orientation towards civilization, I'm a tit guy. Really? So you came, like when you were born out of cycle of generation, regeneration, called birth, like you came out of your mama's titties, or like came more? Well, I didn't come out of her ass. I mean, like, her ass.
That was a very, very good point, World. Really got him there.
Like, you pretty much got her ass. Like, okay, maybe like a couple inches from her ass. Never mind. But I like your argument. I'm gonna steal it. My breast fetish is purely civilization sustaining. It's nothing to do with aesthetics. It is. Yeah, I'm saying, what about the hips? What about the lips? Like, I like lips. I don't know. It's like a good face, honestly, over titties too.
Sam, do you think that there are any good arguments for the existence of God?
Yeah, just consciousness. That's pretty much it.
That's about it, right? Or something.
Yeah. Maybe like some sort of idea that like a first cause type thing. I don't know. There had to be a necessary being or something. I'm not saying they succeed, but they're at least like, you gotta consider them as like worth considering, like.
There is a necessary being, and it's everything.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I mean, what about like, you don't think like these teleological arguments are any good, right, Sam?
No, I think the design, teleology for life is bad. I think all of them are bad, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's whole family, right? Yeah.
My least favorite argument for God is the een. Hate the een. What did that? Does that kid still come around who used to run that argument? I haven't seen him. The bucket hat or something. Yeah, I haven't seen him.
What about the argument for miracles? Like Ethan runs like these. You would say it, like.
For sure, if miracles were real, that would be a great argument. I guess the question is just how credible are these things?
Right.
Oh, wait, is he on that podcast yet?
Wait, what podcast have you seen?
The one you told me about. The one he needs a suit for.
Oh yeah, I think it's still like next week. He's gonna hop on there. Yeah. On Pints with Aquinas, right? That was the whole like fundraiser thing to get him a suit.
Did you hear about this? He raised the guy, the Captain Christianity guy. He started a GoFundMe for Ethan to get like a suit, and the amount they needed to raise was like 1,000 or something, and it doubled it. They raised double the amount they required in like half the time or something.
Based.
And like I've seen the comments on Ethan's capturing Christianity videos. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
it's a star. So yeah, I can't wait to see more of this.
No, but he's like apparently, which I believe. Sorry, I'm not saying like allegedly. Like apparently he's converted like loads of people from just watching that debate. And it's interesting because that debate is, what seems kind of, well, I guess if he's arguing that it's a demon, then he is just trying to falsify it. But then he isn't arguing that it's like there's an actual explanation of it.
Yeah, they did not argue the.
I wish he debates like an atheist on these issues. Right? They get him like an atheist debate or something.
I wonder how much money he's got Cameron.
Well, probably not. Because Cameron's raising the money for him. So clearly, like, Cameron doesn't want
Well, yeah, but I mean, obviously Cameron is a huge grifter, and like all of his content is geared towards his grifting enterprise. So
I don't know him well enough. Like, why is he a grifter? Like, what kind of?
He's always been a grifter. I'd have to like.
What?
I said he's just always been a grifter. That's just like his MO.
I'm saying, like, is the grift like raise money for like, I don't know, what do you think the grift is?
Well, it's like for his quote unquote industry or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the same way all these guys kind of grift. Like, yeah, I think, like, you know, and a lot of people made this case in observation at the time that, like, you know, he turned the channel into capturing Catholicism and, like, converted to Catholicism because, like, there was more money in being a Catholic.
Channels, by the way. So he's still got capturing Christianity, and now he's got capturing Catholicism.
No. Capturing Christianity is that channel. It's just been renamed Capturing Catholicism.
I don't want to do the like. Do you want to bet? But he does have 2 channels.
He might have 2 channels, but if you look at that, if you look at the channel, wait, I don't know about this because if you look at the channel that's currently called Capturing Catholicism, and you go into like the about list there, it still says Capturing Christianity.
The Capturing Christianity channel has like 20 times the subscribers.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's the original.
Yeah, 415,000 subs capturing Christianity, and then the new one capturing Catholicism has like less than 100,000.
Well, maybe they're linked together or something then, because I think that if you go to the capturing, I actually see you renamed it.
YouTube is doing that now, where they'll
right.
You can post a video that basically is linked to 2 channels.
No, that is different though. Because what I'm saying is, if you go to the one that's called Capturing Catholicism, right, and you go to its like about page or some shit, right, there's a link that just says Capturing Christianity. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, probably, but I think he does because it's far smaller than there's far smaller subscriber count than the OG channel.
Well, that may be. I could be fucking that up, but he is a grifter though. That I'm not fucking up.
He just seems.
I remember like somebody died at one point. There was this like whole like debacle because like somebody who was involved in his
You're in the Matrix.
Oh, sorry. Did you hear what I said? I was saying like there was a time where like one of his like, yeah, it was like one of his like main contributors like died, and he basically was like, now that this person died, we're like taking a huge hit. We really need you guys to like step up to fucking replace the contributions from this guy who died. You know, kind of.
Yeah, that's intense. Also, has Nero spoken?
He has not spoken much this time. Daniel's been a bit of a ghost lately. I don't know what's up with that.
Nero's ghost.
I swear the last time I looked for the channel that's called Capturing Christianity, like I couldn't even find it. So I'm gonna have to dig into this.
No, I funny enough, when I saw the Ethan video, I think I spoke to someone. I said Capturing Christianity, and they corrected me, and I went and looked off the back of that, and I found the original channel. I was like, okay, yeah, it is a different channel.
Yeah, you have now Capturing Catholicism and Capturing Christianity, right? Both of them. Like, these 2 distinct channels, they belong to the same person, right?
Capturing Christianity has 400,000 followers. Capturing Catholicism has 20,000 followers. Sully was completely wrong about this.
That's fine.
Huge embarrassing.
Yeah, torturing your dog.
I hope Sully has like this amazing poker face where he's like, yeah, oh, boo-hoo, oh, I was wrong. And then like when he comes off the app, he like smashes up his car or something like this. Infuriating.
Oh my god, I'm in the middle of fixing my car right now, dude. I just have to go pick up 2 rims. Now I'm going to get tires.
Oh, what? Are they 30s?
Dude, I was on here and when one of my tires just had a persistent leak for a while because the rim was fucked up. So that's one of the ones that I think tires got a flat. When I was on here, I was just like, oh fuck, my tire's going flat, shit.
Yo, is it? No, he's not from Massachusetts. Where the fuck is that guy from? You know, there's that guy, he's like a Marine. And he's like running for like governor or senator or something. And he's like some like no nonsense, doesn't take shit, like fuck. And he's like ginger, he has like a beard. You know what I'm talking about? He's like running for some office, and he's like a blue collar, like rugged, like calls it how he sees it kind of guy. But he's like very critical of the Iran war. I can't remember his name. Or I don't know where he's at. I thought it was Massachusetts.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Anyway, I gotta run for a minute though.
You're talking about a movie imagery or
No, it's some guy who's running for some.
oh, I think you know Dan Crenshaw, something like that, right? Dan,
let me check. Say Dan Crenshaw.
Yeah, I think that's the guy.
What, you're talking about the Texan
Oh,
with the
no,
iPad?
I know that guy. No. That guy, he's in office already.
Yeah. Oh, the one.
No, there's a guy who's campaigning currently, but I just don't know for where.
I'm a no-nonsense ginger. You got any questions for me?
Thoughts about the Iran war?
It doesn't seem to be going so well.
Dude, the rebranding is kind of epic though. I don't know if you see what's happening now, but they've rebranded it to like fucking Project Freedom or something, and they're like, look, we just like if Iran wants to be the aggressors, all we want to do is ferry ships to safety. Like we just like all we care about is that all of these crew members don't starve to get in the Persian Gulf. Like you got Hexen speaking like this meek and mild, delivered fucking you know.
Well, that's smart. Come on, you have to give it. That's a little bit smart to rebrand.
Well, it's just too obvious. Like it's just too. Like it's like the accusation is like, oh, don't aggress against us while we're just like pursuing this humanitarian mission. And it's like, yo, dude, didn't you just like fucking say you were gonna threaten to destroy our entire civilization like 2 weeks, literally like 2 weeks ago? Like then
you think everything they're gonna continue fighting?
That was 2 weeks ago.
And there is some evidence for one of them, right? It's not sufficient to say that he's the murderer. Like, let's say he was in the general vicinity. That's the only bit that says that he did it. That still counts as evidence, even if it's not sufficient to say that he's the murderer. Do you understand? It doesn't have to be convincing to still be counted as evidence.
Yeah, and the challenge is Jesus is a fictional character, so if I see a fictional character appear in the sky, I need to be questioning myself now. What am I actually seeing?
You're making the question because if you have this guy, then you have to say, well, maybe he's not a fictional character, right?
Had a taste of
You already said
and a new sort of coordinate awoke, making time just another poor tenant
but you
bearing
haven't.
weight, taking fire, trading smoke.
Yeah, but you haven't
in the
ruled
war
out
between
that
us
this
and our
exists, right? You
enemies.
literally said there was no way to disprove that.
The
You are open.
statement about God, it wasn't a statement about Jesus. I know for
No, she's like
So you
the
ruled out
actual
the Christian.
yes, I think it is definitely possible
To me,
prove
it's
that
just-
Christian God does
No,
not
she
exist.
absolutely
That Jesus Christ never
And
existed.
again, no, it's not.
You don't think that Jesus? Well, you don't think that Jesus of Nazareth, like as a historical figure, regardless whether he was God or not, existed?
Absolutely not. Jesus as a so-called historical character, to my mind, is not a historical character. I think the whole idea of Jesus
Like
is
consensus of historians would make that. What do you think about that?
And my insight is keen as the hawk's. By my head I invoke thee. yes, I invoke thee. Mine is the red triangle reverse, the sign given unto David thee of thee, O Lord. By the Lamb and I invoke thee. Mine is the garment of my soul, with gold the flashing of my that I wear. By my robe I invoke thee. Mine is the sign of the prophets and time. My sign and invoke Mine is the turban of white and gold, and mine the new vigor of the intimate air. By my crown I invoke thee. My fingers travel on the beats of the world, so I am till thee my core of glory. By my fingers I invoke I bear the wand of double power and the voice of the Master. Raise the hand of God. By the Lord I invoke waves of music in the song that I made of old. To invoke by the song I invoke In my hand is thy sword of revenge. Let it strike at thy bidding. By the sword I Mine is the head of the man, and my insides seen as the hawks by my head invoke I am the only begotten child of my father and mother. My father is dead. My mother bore me with labor and pain and fear. By my body I invoke thee. About me shine the diamonds of radiance, white and pure. By their brightness I invoke thee. Mine is the red triangle, reverse the sign given of none. Save it me, O Lord. By the Lamb I invoke thee.
What do you mean?
Mine is the head of the man, and my insight is keen as the hawks by my head I invoked it. I am the only begotten child of my father and mother. My father is dead, my mother bore me with labor and pain and fear. By my body I invoked it. We shine the diamonds are radiant, white and pure. By their brightness I invoke thee. Mine is the red triangle reverse, the sign given of none. Save it be of thee, O Lord. By the Lamb and I invoke thee. Free mine is the garment of white, so with gold, the flashing of eye that I wear. By my robe I invoke thee. Mine is the sign of a puppets and typhon. By the sign I invoke thee. For mine is the turban of white and gold, and mine the blue figure of the intimate. By my crown I invoke thee. My fingers travel on the beads of pearl, so run I after thee in thy car of glory. By my fingers I invoke thee. I hear the ones of double power in the voice of the master. Abraham, by the word I invoke thee. Be mine other dark blue waves of music in the song that I made.
What is Scott Besson's net worth and how did he generate his income? What is Elon Musk and how did he generate his income? Did Scott Besson attack Elon Musk and what will they fire it at? Did Elon Musk go on Fox News during Doge and said this is the biggest revelation since the fire? Believe you or me, how much did Doge save U.S. taxpayers? Top 10 leftist work projects and programs cut?